Hey family, welcome in fellow Earthlings. Welcome to another pick a card. This is Siren and Whispers, and I'm glad to have you here. So today's pick a card is focusing on what are their feelings and intentions. As usual, there are 3 piles to choose from. The first is the World card, and I will be using the Solar deck, and I also have this beautiful duck feather. And 2 is the Everyday Witch deck with Justice card and this beautiful swan feather. And 3, you have this duck feather, the Ace of Cups, and with the Crystal Tarot deck. So if you take a deep breath, visualize the person you have in mind, send their energy towards me. Look at the imagery, study the feathers. If you don't feel a pile is for you, click off and you can choose another one. There will be confirmations at the end, star signs, planets, and some initials also. You will know if the reading is for you if it resonates with the energies that are connected to at the start of the reading. I will see you guys at your reading. Hey, good one. You chose this beautiful duck feather. A little detailing. It's a mallard duck. And the World card. So you feel pile 1 that your person changed your whole world. Perhaps there's someone that came into your life and gave you the ability to see things that you never really considered before. Perhaps they touched your childhood wounds. You may have wanted commitment before they were ready, or vice versa. Remember that energies are interchangeable. You could have long hair. I'm seeing that you believed that this person was someone that you wanted long-term commitment with. You could be dealing with Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, or Cancer. You could also be dealing with Aquarius. So apply that to your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North Node, or your persons. First, we'll look into the general energy, just to affirm if the reading, if you're in the right pile. Okay. General energy for pile 1, please, Spirit. General energy for pile 1. General energy for pile 1. You're wanting a new beginning with this person, pile 1, and you're both silent. Wanting to reach new heights. Closer. Let your connection with Spirit ground you as you reach for the sky. So learning from past mistakes. To become more free within, plan wisely, cultivate success through meticulous research and strategic planning. Your foresight will unveil new paths. Perhaps this was someone that you felt played games, wanting to release yourself from that sort of energy. But you learned from it, pile 1. You could have played chess with this person. Could be into gaming. Divorce. So you could be getting divorced or have been. Manifest. Or you could be dealing with someone who's going through a divorce, trying to tell the universe what it is exactly that you want. So if this energy feels like you, then you're in the right reading. Someone could also be into ornithology, bird watching. Okay, pile one. So thoughts, feelings, and intentions. Thoughts, feelings, and intentions. Okay. So, Spirit, what are pile one's person's thoughts and feelings? Current thoughts and feelings. Queen of Wands. So they're seeing you as going through a glow up that just affirms the new heights. Is not bashful and coming forward and expressing themselves. Refocusing on your self-worth. Expressing yourself. I'm seeing someone actually going through a makeover. You may have changed your hair up or your makeup style or your personal fashion style. Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and Seven of Swords. Finding you very desirable. You catch people's eye and that can make them feel, intimidated, quite jealous. Seeing you as self-sufficient and nurturing. They're thinking to themselves, can I match that? Can I step up? Someone who does focus a lot on what brings them joy in life. Could be someone doing very well in your career and they're wondering, is there even a place for them? Do they even need me? Type energy. Sufficient by yourself, not wanting or needing anyone. And if you choose people to be in your life, it's not because you need them, it's because you want them. The regret or sneaky behavior stringing you along. Pile one. As you got the divorce card, that could also be symbolic of endings, commitment ending, not necessarily marriage. You may have called this person out for deceitful behavior or betrayal. They may have meddled in your finances, meddled in your work. You could know them from a workplace. A very passionate person whose flame cannot be dimmed. You have a lot of self-confidence, especially in what you do, in your craft. Judgment. They're judging themselves harshly due to how they treated you, pile one. Four of Cups. This person chose other options. This person chose another person. They're not happy. It doesn't matter how much love and affection or attention they give this person because they're not interested, as their heart and their mind and their thoughts still circulate, still focus on you. You could have openly judged them, said your piece, called them out and taken distance. And they're hoping that this relationship isn't done for good. You need to walk away. If they're with someone else, to walk away from them and also walk away from the past behavior, reconcile with what they have done and to move forward, elevated and as a better person. But they're not having that confidence. The Chariot, yeah, to move forward, to come rushing towards you. Then we see that Five of Swords, the self-defeat, the Tower. So a lot of intense energy moving through this, pile one. So it will be different for everyone. Obviously, timelines will be different for everyone. This particular person has gone through or is going through or will go through a lot of upheaval in life. And you chose the World card. So you may have once been each other's world and you both were heavily triggered by one another. It was an intense connection. They're hoping that it's not death. It's not death to the whole relationship, only death to the old ways. But you're standing firm in your ground and you're with your own standards intact. Five of Swords, Five of Cups. Definitely an ending. A solid ending. You may have even been in business together. Queen of Cups. They have so much love for you. a lot of attraction, a lot of genuine feelings. And the Tower moment has caused them to reevaluate life. In those dark moments, wanting to rush towards you, but they know that they can't come back and make you feel news. They have to have a valid reason. So going through these changes, watching you from afar, if you haven't blocked them, they can see how well you're doing in social media or just from around the grapevine. But the love that they hold for you is sincere. It's one that runs deep. One that runs deep. It's genuine. Swans are symbolic. You mate for life, of tranquility, gentle transformation. The transformation, the catalyst of you meeting each other, losing one another, going through the dark times, but transitioning to a time of reconciling past behaviours and moving forward in their life, where the transformation still happens, but it's one that they may not be conscious of. It's gentler. It's not exactly in the physical, like the Tower, the disruption, losing the job, losing a business, losing dear people in their life. Transition still happens through that loss of love, feeling dejected, where to turn, not knowing where to turn. You could be dealing with a Cancer, you could be dealing with Scorpio or Pisces, you could also be dealing with Aries or Sagittarius or Leo. The thoughts and feelings, Five of Wands, setting sun. Yeah, they feel very closed off to your energy. They're worried. I think they're worried about the competition they may have to fight off. That it's not going to be any big deal to try and fight off the competition, pile one, because they don't want to lose you. They want to give you reciprocity. They may even be going to therapy, or they have delved into self-help books, even spaces online. Could be watching videos to help them through the darker times and to help them with their self-development to become stronger, as they saw you as very generous with your time, with your resources. Maybe jealousy and envy was something that drove this apart. Someone may have made more income than the other, struck a nerve. They're wanting to move with change because they don't want you to close the door forever, and they can feel that slipping away. Okay, so what is pile one's person's intentions? What are their intentions? Seven of Pentacles. To start something new from a genuine and stable place. To be patient. To come in and see, are they going to be able to break through any boundaries that you've set firm. But having the patience and knowing that they need patience if they're to come back and to get out of that mindset, with their own development, to get out of the self-limiting beliefs, to grow their confidence and come in with the Knight of Cups with some actions in love. And to start again, planting the seeds of faith and love and getting rid of all the energy that they basically brought upon themselves. They projected a lot onto you, pile one, where it made you doubt yourself at times. I'm hearing gaslighting, going in circles. But to end that cycle once and for all, reciprocity and equal exchange is the sole goal in this. They're tending to their own needs. The seeds have been planted in their mind. They know what they have to do. You tried your best to lead them in the right direction, but Tower moments had to happen for them to grow from it. And sometimes distance is when it happens. That's Tower one's intentions. Nine of Swords. Again, so we have the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords. To grow, learn and develop into a stronger person with more confidence. To not focus so much in the details of lack, of scarcity, not thinking that they're not enough. That rumination, the staying up, the insomnia. Addictions may have had something to do with this connection. Take it as it fits. If there's a fear of losing this connection, that will cause them to move forward with real change, and change that takes time and patience and trust, but it'll be an equal exchange of effort, being able to listen to one another, not being blinded by their own pitfalls, judging themselves. We saw the judgment card. It's to judge themselves, yes, but to let all of it go, because when we keep leaning on what we can't do, it just taints anything we can, because you inadvertently manifest it. So to focus more on their health, especially their sleep hygiene, so they're strong enough to face you and to offer you a cup of love, to offer you romance, genuine care, and hoping, will this be enough for you to give them a new chance? Okie dokie, pile one. Let's see what animal spirit is connecting most to your energy, pile one. And some advice for you and confirmations. Ooh. Canary spirit, sing your own song. So that's what you're doing, pile one. You're focusing on yourself right now, and so is your person. Letting go of the self-limiting beliefs, healing any past wounds they may have, focusing on better mental health. Canary spirit and swan spirit. Time for a deep dive. So time for you to take a deep dive into what it is you want in life. Pile one. And if the person you have in mind still aligns, so 12 is symbolic. This little crown, you had the Queen of Wands energy. You could be a musician, you could play the flute, you could play other instruments, brass, woodwind, you could be a singer. That's you and your glow up, and they see this, immensely attracted to pile one. And the swan, it may have been someone you thought you would be with for life, but fairy tales have breakups and tower moments, and it doesn't mean you can't come back together. It's about being in alignment. So 12 is symbolic, and 60. Also 6. 6 represents the lovers. So big decisions in life. Also very transformative. See each other as deep soulmates, mirror souls. 12th house connection. You could have synastry in the 12th house, or you could have planets in the 12th house. So standing in your own power, feeling empowered, and deep diving into what it is that you want truly out of life and what makes your soul sing. I'm not really wanting anything that can ruin those moments for you. You want to remain in that identity, that passionate and charismatic identity, who's courageous in pursuit of expression, being fully creative, singing your song unashamedly. Little crown here also, so very much in that empowered stance, not letting anything come in the way of that. If this person wants to come in, they have to match that energy in the progression through the dark times and the ego death. Then one can match, but they have to go through the transformation, and oftentimes alone. And let's see what pile one's person's higher self has to say. Our love will never cease to exist. The vibes, isn't it? I wish you were next to me. So I think that this person may have ran to things, addictions, substances, distractions, but then they lay awake at night with the guilt. They lay awake thinking of their own challenges, but haunted by the ghost of you. You have to be patient. You'd see that patience is needed with this person in this connection. I've been fighting a battle I can't win. So there could be health issues. I want you. I want to fall asleep next to you. I miss you, but I don't have time right now. My beloved. That could have been something that you said to one another. Okay. Next is Astrodice. You could be dealing with an Aries. Aries 10th house, or could be in your date of birth. Cell number, address, anniversary, and Neptune. So you could have a Neptune complex in your natal chart, or your person could have. Did see 12 before, so that sort of connection that is felt, it's unexplainable. You feel it on another level, that psychic connection, that intuition. You meet each other in the dreamscape often, and you feel each other on that soul level. Sometimes the mind scrambles trying to catch up, and it can be a scary experience for someone who really doesn't understand what's happening. Some letters, pile one. Okay. Oh, we have E, O, K, W, A, Y, and G. G unit. We could share a lot of music together. That is how you connect and speak to one another. Sometimes it's a way people can use it to be vulnerable if they're not ready to express it themselves. You know, it's a less vulnerably exposed way to connect. And oftentimes, if you're in a twin soul connection, that's how communication is a lot of the times, sharing music. Okay, pile one. If it resonated, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel grow. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, hello, hello. Pile two. You chose the beautiful swan feather. So swans are symbolic of peace, tranquility, gentle transformation, love, devotion, and loyalty. Put this over here. And the Justice card with the Everyday Witch Tarot deck. So you chose Justice. So perhaps there is a lot of behavior and things that went down in this connection that you felt was unfair, unjust. And it's a time of healing now for you. There could be legal issues, basically legal problems in the connection. Or someone could be a lawyer or a judge, or someone could work in the court system. Okay, so let's just see if you're in the right pile by connecting to the general energy. So someone that you have a lot of love for. Things may not have been fair, and certainly not the way that you hoped things would go down. Planning phase. This came out in pile one, so you could have messages in pile one. Planning phase. Take a step back and plan for the necessary steps to move forward so you may turn your goals into reality. So you could play chess, you could be a gamer. Remember, energies can be reversed as they are interchangeable. Going forward, don't dwell on the past, but focus on creating a brighter future. So going through an intense stage of strategizing. You could be moving house, moving career, moving location, or just another stage of self-development. And the connection induced a spiritual awakening. You may have thought you met your counter half, so it could be a divine journey, intimacy, sexual chemistry, reminiscing. This may have been a connection that caused you to level up, pile two. intimacy, and you're missing intimacy with the person. So if it's the stage of separation, move on. Someone is unavailable, a waste of time, it's over. So maybe someone who pulled back as the intimacy became too much. So someone with intimacy issues, you felt left out in the cold. You're thinking to yourself, it's time to move on now, it's time to focus on me. Being someone who played some games, you may have been lost in that feeling of wanting to seek some sort of retribution. You're focusing on yourself. Okay, let's jump into tarot now, pile 2. Pile 2. Someone could be into cars, into racing, into motorbiking. Someone may have gotten a speeding ticket recently. Now remember, only take what resonates. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. It just means it's for someone else. Okay, so we're going to look at your person's thoughts and feelings right now. Strength. Your person's trying to find the strength within themselves now and keeping it together. Could be dealing with Leo. Moon. Yeah. I think this person is fighting their feelings for you. They've kept the feelings in the dark for quite some time. And they're using all their strength to keep, and the tower that came out in pile 1 also. So it's taking all their mental strength and stamina to withhold the truth from you. And whatever that truth may be, could be depth of feelings, could be just life situations, or it could be what happened in their past even before they met you. Page of Wands. See the path here is significant in this pile. They could see you as someone who has forged a path that they never even thought possible for themselves when they met you. You touched their spirit, something that they weren't ready for, but they're curious to know more, wanting to follow you through life, even if it is from a distance. So they may watch you on social media, but not from their account. They see you as someone who's able to move forward and start whatever it is that they like. See you as someone as having a hell of a lot more courage than they do. And the ending that you had caused the tower moment to fall. And they had to evaluate their life and which path they're going to go. The orange cat can be symbolic. Certainly seeing a lot of strength within you. They may have been someone who doubted your strength before. They may have called you too fragile, too sensitive. Their feelings and thoughts right now. It's a time of isolation for them, pile 2. 8 of Cups. Yeah. I think they've walked away from the connection and they see you as someone who has walked away. You're moving ahead. If you're mirroring one another, this is exactly what's happening. Taking that time to focus on oneself. Walking away from whatever doesn't serve them in the full. And wanting to take that leap of faith and moving forward with curiosity. With that spark of fire. To start again. But it's after that long period of isolation and figuring out what it is that they want. So we have another fire card. So you could be dealing with Leo, heavy fire energy and water energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You could be dealing also with Gemini or Virgo. Wanting to take flight, to take off. start something genuine with you, but would you be interested? I think they could come in with, the flirty messages, the charm, the flirty texts, even a call. They know that they can't show up, they can't come back until they've worked on themselves and know that they can prove to you that they're valuable. So you've been dealing with a runner, someone that came in and out of your life, pile 2. And it caused you to go into yourself and work, delve deep within yourself and focus on healing your shadows. Thinking, why do I choose people that aren't willing to step up when I give them so much of my love? This person may have been younger. Someone is younger in the connection for some of you. It was like that reckless energy, someone who was reckless and played games. And they're fighting that urge to come rushing back in with that lustfulness. They may have been so attracted to you on the physical level. Knight of Pentacles. Was that King of Pentacles? King of Pentacles. So they do want to come in. They do want to be that solid grounded energy for you. 5 of Swords. They just haven't done enough healing or growing up. They have a lot of growing up to do. So their thoughts and feelings towards pile 1. Queen of Swords. Saw that this is pile 2. But 9 of Swords came up in pile 1, so you could have messages in pile 1. Knight of Pentacles and King of Pentacles. Okay, thoughts and feelings. Well, they see you as someone who is firm in their boundaries, unwavering in their boundaries. You may be presenting quite cold to them now, pile 2. Maybe you won't accept that offer of love from them. I think they fear that they're taking too long to stabilize, to integrate some shadows. And they fear when they do come in, are you going to be sharp with them? They're afraid of the rejection. It's keeping them up at night. They feel that they didn't really have enough to offer you, and that's their perception. Someone who had that self-worth issues, so tends to jump in and out of connections. They go in so much, perhaps you dealt with breadcrumbing, but when they feel things getting intense, they dip out again. Very driven by the physical, and you light them up in that way. But it's forced them to look at themselves. I think you may have spoke to them about some of their bad behavior, and no one may have said this to them before. They never got the harsh truth. And when you put boundaries, they ran. And so dealing with that regret and knowing that they were selfish. I think for them to even have a chance, or for you to even open up to them and allow them in your life again, they have to present as the King of Pentacles. Someone who's strong, committed, not only manifest the structural life and the good life, but to work in getting it, and consistently so. That's sustainability of the fruitful life together. A tangible success, and won't run when times get hard, and isn't afraid, because they're still dealing with that fear of rejection, the fear of criticism, the fearing of what you're going to say. Are you going to call them out further? So it's working on to become the King of Pentacles. They're just not there yet. My croaky voice. You Again, excuse the croaky voice, my loves. Okay, so what is pile two's person's intentions? Pile two's person's intentions is swords. Wow, I seem to be picking up really similar energies in the piles. Eight of Swords. My intentions is to get rid of self-limiting beliefs, to grow in their self-confidence, to not be afraid of the truth, and to come forward with the truth about how they feel and not be so closed off with their heart space and communication. Finally breaking free of all the pressure they put in themselves. Never mind the pressure that other people give to them. It's very much based on their own self-worth and the criticism and punishment and the pressure they put on themselves intellectually, and they try to block out their heart space. So their intentions is to break free from that and come towards you with genuine truth, respect, and honesty. And if they were someone that made you feel like an option, it's to drop that act and focus on one thing, focus on the truth only. And not use petty excuses to get out of commitment, to stick to their word, to remain truthful. As I see this as someone who deals with cognitive dissonance, you know, their actions don't align with how they think or how they feel. So they can say one thing and then do another, and it really conflicts, and it can leave you feeling confused. And quite honestly, it leaves this person, their behavior confuses them. So that's why they went into isolation. Just try and understand themselves. They don't like the deflecting, judging their own behavior. To be able to balance the light and dark, to be able to balance their thoughts and feelings in a healthy way. And the growth may be slow, but it's one that's sustainable and long lasting. Ten of Wands for intentions. Oh no, that's not Ten of Wands. Excuse me. What does that? Yeah, that's the Five of Wands. And I'm seeing that they don't care if there's competition. They see themselves as the one for you. And I'm also hearing that it's kind of, it was their own fault if they did put you in competition with other people. So they do only want to see you happy. They're just sorry that King of Swords, yeah, they couldn't be more truthful. So they're wanting to show up in a lot of king energy, that divine masculine energy, able to take the lead and not run from the truth. Could be dealing with, yeah, air signs, so Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. So that strength before, holding back their thoughts and feelings, but focusing on themselves so they can level up and get rid of the cowardice, get rid of the self-worth issues, to have that self-belief that they are good enough for you. Because you believe that to be so, pile two. For something to remain stable and consistent in your life takes constant effort. And if this person's trapped in a lot of fear, it's difficult to move forward with lasting change, you know, to keep the connection in that state of stability rather than flux, because the person does tend to dip in and out. Flighty is a runner. The Knight of Pentacles, who wants to offer you something tangible, take you somewhere. You know, they could offer to take you on a date, a concert, or set up a nice meal they may cook for you. You may be someone who has kept a lot of receipts and messages, past conversations, and same with them. And they may read over your words, and sometimes they may be harsh, but it's causing them to grow. It's causing them to admit their own wrongdoings, because bad behavior can be changed, and that's what they're trying to do. You know, just to show up in a healthier way. Like, this person may have been someone who really struggled to be direct, so their intention is to show up with truth, to be more direct in what they want. You're not left guessing, because I think that was an issue for this connection pile 2. Tended, you know, to go to that toxicity, trying to make you feel jealous on purpose, you know, getting rid of that childish play, wanting to show up in a more grounded leadership, and can take criticism without running or being combative. Now, let's look at the animal spirit most connected to your energy right now, pile 2. This is some guidance. Ooh, moth spirit. Okay, moth spirit. So 39 can be symbolic, or 3 and 9. This could be March. So 3rd of September or 9th of March. So surrender now. Surrender to the divine now, pile 2. And let the universe take over. So divine timing is especially important for this connection. If you're seeking out new ways to go, we did see the move on card. It's to move on and focus on healing. Let go of the past ways of coping, the old connection, and just to move forward with that brighter spirit, you know, that hope, the spark. The moth moves towards light. And that's what you're doing, pile 2. Into a brighter headspace, into a more fruitful and fortuitous adventures in career, in home, in friendships. And never give up on seeking the light, and especially within yourself. And surrender to the divine, and things will all work out if you keep vibrating on that higher level. And send this person love from afar. You connect into that energy and still remain strong in your boundaries, unafraid to express your truth. Because if they come back in flighty, that can be a test. So to use your discernment, state your truth, sort of lower your expectations on someone in a younger or more immature energy, but to not lower your standards, of course. So pile 2's person. Can you hear me whisper your name? I think at night time you might hear them. I think they have a lot to say. But what they did was hold back a lot of truth. That song Say Something, You're Losing Me, and they chose to remain silent, blocked off. My love for you is stronger than ever. I want you. I remember the day we met like it was yesterday. So in that hermit mode, reminiscing. Are you thinking about me? At night when you're thinking and you hear someone whisper, feel their breath. I need some more time before I can come to you. So that just reaffirms the needing that quiet time, needing that space. We were always meant to meet. It was written in the stars. I want to hold you in my arms. No more, please, Spirit. I need to sort things out before I can come to you there. So just have to find the strength within themselves to level up, to work on their self-confidence, to be able to meet you where you are. And they definitely don't want to let you down any more than they already have. Pile 2. So could be dealing with Gemini 1. So Gemini in the first house, and again Neptune. So you definitely could have messages in pile 1, confusion and illusion with this is someone who hid behind that facade of the player. That player mode is breaking down. It's the player eventually played themselves. So that identity with the first house, understanding who they really are as a person, deprogramming, and same with you, triggered each other's evolution. Finally, some letters. We have M, O, U, G, B. So remember, if it still resonated, please take the messages. They were there for you. These are just extra confirmations. W, W, or I, and Q. So pile 2, that's what I have for you. If it resonated, please do consider like and subscribing. It helps the channel grow, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Hello, so beautiful pile 3.
This cute as heck light into dark. So you may have seen some dark times in this connection to look at the darker parts of yourself, or it could be a connection that caused you to doubt the light and to doubt the love that you gave them. Ace of Cups. So it may be a connection where you stayed a lot longer than you should have, but you chose Ace of Cups. So this may be a connection that never really started. It was a non-starter, but one full of love, full of potential. That's what I'm feeling. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's see what we have. Pile 3. Okay, general energy for pile 3. Ooh. Okay, so take precautions. Remain a vigilant and receptive. What am I saying A for? There's no A there. Sorry, my eyesight. Remain vigilant and receptive, learning from each revelation as you navigate life's journey. So a slow reveal, this connection, slow revealing about your own thoughts and feelings, your own shadows, your own wounds, and what healing you had to go through, and also just learning about this person. This person could have completely different, conflicting personality style to you, or a completely different attachment style. I'm hearing true intentions, stay authentic and aligned, trusting your inner wisdom to guide you, genuine fulfillment. So we see these cards are quite dark. It mirrors this. So this connection was one that forced you to connect with your darker shadow self. May not have been one you were ready for. Oh, someone could be into rock climbing. Narcissist. Ooh. Okay, so I see that as narcissists. It's a spectrum, right? So all humans have narcissistic traits. So someone is too full of themselves. So as we saw with the dark and light graduation, and the narcissist is looking into the mirror. So someone who activated you to reach into your soul, to delve into and study and analyze parts of yourself, to grow from it, to heal. Perhaps this person ignited your healing journey. They were the trigger for it. But they're still stuck in the past. They're still stuck in the ego. So water sign. You know, they weren't growing alongside you, growing at different rates. You may have been able to look at parts of yourself. So say if you're the divine feminine, you may have showed them coping mechanisms that were unhealthy and were open and said, you know, you've hurt me in this way. I think they're too focused on how they look to others So it may have been a connection where they did put other people's needs and perceptions first, and you got the crappy, the darker side to them. Doesn't really know how to deal with emotional depth, so they stick to the surface, very much focused on how they present themselves to the world and how they are accepted. So they could have a forward facing job, a high powered job, social status tied to it. Or signs Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, so that can be you or your person. This sounds like you. Let's jump into tarot. Shuffle. Okay, pile 3. So I think this connection may have driven you into a darker state. I'm hearing even depression, as the toxicity became too much. Someone wasn't willing to heal with you, too focused on the exterior. To be dealing with someone who is quite good looking. You know, they are a smooth talker. They are very attractive. They play on that. Looking at thoughts and feelings, pile 3 person has thoughts and feelings towards pile 3. May have introduced a third party. Now, this doesn't have to be romantic or sexual. This could be work. This could be family. 9 of coins. Could have been jealousy with where you are socially, or by how much money you make, and it intimidated them. And instead of focusing on why is this triggering me, they externalized it and they deflected. And then that made you question any sort of cruelty that went your way. 8 of Swords, that has come out on in all of the piles. They could see you as an overthinker, and they see themselves as an overthinker, but I don't think that they would label themselves as an overthinker. I think because we saw that narcissist card, they would flip it that they're very good at strategizing, they're very good at foresight and how to move. Maybe someone who sees manipulation as a given in life. Maybe dealing with someone who projects themselves to be lover boy / lover girl, but are more stuck in their manipulative shadows. The lovers, they pitted you. This could also be a connection that isn't publicly known. You know, this person may have said that they are going to leave someone else, and they didn't, and it's left you on the sidelines and doubting yourself, doubting your worth. And of course, we know objectively how people treat you is, it says everything about them and not about you. But nevertheless, it's still hard when you have strong feelings for someone. So the lovers and the 8 of Swords, narcissistic tendencies they have, 9 of coins. They're seeing you as someone as self-sufficient, and I think the jealousy and their shadows got the better of them. Self-defeat, questioning have they lost you, if they've pitted you against someone else, wanting to be reciprocal, having that regret, but also not really understanding that they are the power. They are in their own power. They can decide. Oh, talking to myself. Goddamn storage. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so they have the power to remove that self-inflicted challenges, the self-inflicted beliefs, you know, the self-defeat. They can, with the 8 of Swords, they're the one in control. They can move, they can sidestep, they can solve the problems because they're the one putting the problems there in the first place. So it's self-inflicted. The self-limiting beliefs, I'll feel by saying I can show up. If they do show up and they do take you on dates and they show that side of them, they come in with that self-sabotage, and then you're left in the dark. You're like, but you can be so good. So it's that energy where pile 3, you can see the goodness and the potential in someone, but it's the follow through that this person struggles with. To be perceived as a quote unquote bad person, that really they struggle with that. They struggle to be labeled as bad, and it really hits them to their core. And they worry, can they remain a fixture in your life? You know, they think to themselves, it's only a matter of time until it all goes wrong again. And especially if they have put you against someone else and they have this big decision to make, stuck in between the head and heart, can they contribute to someone as independent and self-sufficient as you? Because there seems to be a core wound there, core wound of not being enough, especially if this person grew up with scarcity mindset, and if they grew up with not a lot materialistically, and that's why they might focus extra hard on that. They think, you know, this person may have been told, don't go after love, focus on your career, as that's more reliable, that can get you places in life, that's stability. Any adoration comes from that and what they can do and what they can build with their own life, you know, climbing that career ladder. They could come from a single parent background and they could have been highly critical, and that's why they fall into that belief, the self-limiting belief. And the choice could be with someone who earns a lot, but they don't feel the connection on that deeper level as they do with you. And you could be very independent and self-sufficient and abundant, but in ways of love and ways of the heart and how you think. You know, it doesn't matter how much you earn, you can be abundant in many ways. And they see that you are able to give yourself freely and provide for others. What's their thoughts and feelings for pile 3? 5 of Swords. Man, these piles are so heavily connected. The energies are heavily connected. The Hanged Man. It's trying to see things from your perspective now. Pile 3. Because if this was someone who is more focused on the materialistic lifestyle, because that's what they grew up learning, the advice they were given whenever they were younger, and they swore to themselves maybe they wouldn't let anyone in that deep again, and you did. Caused them to put up walls, get defensive, get lost in their headspace. Someone who maybe doesn't believe in true love, seeing things from your perspective now, seeing things from a different perspective, from a different lens from what they've ever known. Thoughts and feelings towards pile 3. Queen of Coins. Yeah, seeing you as fruitful, very stable presence, and that regret, but also stuck in defensive mode. Page of Cups. Yeah, you see the Page of Cups. That's a fresh offer, but it's a very young offer. It's someone who's inexperienced. It could be age differences or just even in maturity levels. And still caught in that 5 of Swords. The negative talk, the one at all costs, is what their default would have been. That was their mindset. Looking at feelings as somewhat weakness. And they may, if they are savvy in business, they would target that, the weakness of a business, to take over it. They can see people's sore spots, but it's difficult for them to face their own, down to that wound of believing they're not enough unless they can be successful in life in terms of their pentacles and tangible assets. too caught up in the materialistic, even into designer gear, as to have the best car, or how they present to the world was a priority of more importance to this person. They see you as their soulmate and a possibility of a lifelong partner forever. You have the heart here, consumed their heart space, and you may have been the brunt of harsh words, of deceit, of denial, hiding things from you, pile 3, not wanting soft, nurturing, gentle love to interfere with their mission in life, to rise to the top, to be the top of their game. And you disrupted that, and they didn't know how to handle it. So you could be dealing with you or your person, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North Node, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Gemini, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. So you may wish upon a star a lot. This person also can look at the star at night and think of you, sending thoughts of love to you and hoping you receive them. Fighting off the shame that they feel if they put you in a third party, and especially if it was with someone else, family or a person, because you are someone who always shows up as your authentic self. You may have gotten the wrong impression if this person is successful in their career, in socially. You were led to believe that they were well-rounded. They could offer you their heart, but it's been split in two now, and they don't know what to do. Because no matter where they move or how they move, you will always be a part of them. Life can't really ever be the same, no matter how much they've tried to deny it. So thoughts and feelings. Please, thoughts and feelings. Here we go, King of Wands. Very attracted to you, immensely attracted to you. They may have not ever told you how attracted. They don't like the fact that you dominate their thoughts. They see you as a match, a complete and utter match. They miss that. As this card, blue's dominated. Blue is peaceful, but blue can also be solemn. So if you have been in a connection with this person in the 3D in real life, they're sad that they can't physically put their hands on you, reaching that tipping point, that breakthrough of life, in that standstill, sort of like, that rotating clip of your life, knowing that a lot of issues that occurred was their own doing, meeting their match in terms of chemistry, but feeling so blue as it's not no longer there. The access isn't there where it once was, or as it once was. Two of Coins again, that juggling back and forth. Very indecisive person, especially someone who doesn't know how to sit in shadow. An Ace of Coins. Yeah. Thinking about offering you something tangible, something real, a fresh start. But going back and forth, not knowing how to do it. Especially if they're seeing you stand in your energy, not needing them. How can they move in with such immature energy? Because they don't want to move in with being passion led or lustful led. Okay, so intentions with pile 3, 6 of Coins. To move with reciprocal energy. See that? Justice. Could be dealing with Libra. Yeah, they want to show up fair. Or not at all. You could have said that. Be fair. Be willing to have tough conversations be willing to give me more of your time, not put work ahead of me, not put family ahead of me, not put friends ahead of me. They have to prioritize you. They want to balance the scales and be fair. This just all affirms the energy. 7 of coins. To have patience, to offer you something real to build upon, to stabilize the connection, and weighing that light and dark within themselves also, as we have the sun and the moon. It could deal with a lot of shame to do with their shadows, and it could be to do with their upbringing. I think this person is a generous person, especially with their finances, gifts, holidays. But I don't think they're very good at all at sharing their emotions. They're quite locked off. The Empress. They want to start something new, something sincere. They may want to start a family with you, Page, pile 3. 4 of coins. Oof. Yeah, they never want to let the connection go. If you allow them back in your space, pile 3, the new beginning is something that will develop into something lifelong. They intend to have a lifelong commitment and to work through whatever struggles they have to create something strong, to create something fruitful, to move through life as a strong force together. That power couple sort of vibe. 10 of Cups. Yeah. They want that happy family ending with you. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be children. Everyone's going to be in a different stage of life. But absolutely see you as their other half, their counterpart. Deep soul connection. 10 of Cups. It's pink. Pink is symbolic of love and romance. Not let the connection go stale again. To not give up on you when times were hard. To be less greedy with their emotional space. Not be so possessive of your time. There could have been a lot of hypocrisy. You could be very busy and they can be busy, but it's okay for them to be busy, not you. Quite demanding. I think they were too demanding. Whenever you were only asking for simple things, being honest about how they felt in the moment. And they may have just used excuses. Their intentions are to show up as the person that you deserve, the person who aligns with your lifestyle, with the way that you love, a consistent type of love. Or you could have a little fish tank at home, or you could have a pond. So chrysocolla can be symbolic by energetic clearing. They see you as someone who wants for nothing but eternal. It's an eternal bond that cannot be broken. For it to work and be in alignment with one another, one has to be ready. And one has to allow people in to their heart space. Have enough self-love before they can truly give another person the love that they deserve. Yeah, so animals. This person really looks up to you for how you look after. Could be your family, your work team, or could be your pets. It's very, very nurturing. Firm but fair. You may be an overgiver, or you may have been. This connection taught you to be more discerning and to work on your boundaries. That's a cute little ending. The energy became lighter. There's trust and patience, so important in this connection. Trust in the divine timing. This isn't a fern, but I'm hearing fern. Someone's name could be fern. Or someone could have succulent plants. A lot of abundance, a lot of renewal, a lot of transformation, fertility, growth, a lot of inner work, patience and time needed in this connection. A very transformative connection. The light and dark again. You may have seen the worst times of your life with this person and in this connection. Sometimes separation can be forced. But the lessons that came with this connection are beautiful, is the point that I'm making. And what Spirit is saying. So always to take the lessons. Take the lessons. That's how we grow. That's how we become more tenacious. And you see you as someone who holds on tightly to that light. So no matter how dark it gets, you know within that it does get better, and the love that you give is never wasted. Very analytical, the person that you deal with. Very could be in finance, analysis, banking, some sort of career like that. Remember, only take it if it applies. Of course, if the message spoke to you, then it is for you. Spirit wants you to have it. This is the spirit animal that is resonating with your energy right now, pile 3. Someone could collect coins or stamps, or as a collector of something, can make money from a hobby. Swan. We saw the lovers, and then the swan popped out again. And number 6 is also the lovers, the major arcana. So hugely transformative connection. One that cannot be ignored, no matter how much, tethered together for life. And I don't mean you have to put up with bad behavior. I just mean energetically. It's an unforgettable, unbreakable bond. Swan, time for a deep dive. Somebody could be into diving. You may try to collect treasures that way. See what's found at sea, even in the lakes nearby. You'd be into photography. A time for a deep dive in self-reflection, in that inner healing. Approach life more energized and get out of the dark phases, the phases that pulled you down, and worrying about where this connection can go, because you do have to trust in divine timing and to let go of any resentment. This person's trying to let go of resentment of self, or resentment for ill advice when they were younger. So it's breaking free, deprogramming, and that takes time and patience. To be patient with one another. A deep dive into your wants and needs to keep moving authentically. Group 3, pile 3. You know, you may have put other people first for a long time, so to deep dive on what it is that you want in life. Focus on your mission. Adjust that crown. Move forward with pure intentions, like the swan. You see the swan moving toward the 10 of Cups. Pink, romance. It's a destined connection, and the timing will be different for everybody, and it can be beautiful if both people focus on their own wounds, their own shadows, and their mission. Let go of old strategic ways, old negative toxicity that's been built up or pent up over the years, to release it. Move toward calmer waters. You know, the love is still blooming in your heart space. To take that deep dive and focus within. and trust in divine timing. Pile 3. Pile 3's person's higher self. What do they have to say? I want to hold you in my arms. I love you to the moon. I'm back a million times. Remember, we saw earlier, Page of Cups by the moon eating chocolates. This may have been something that you have done together, but they think about you at night time. So you could be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Nighttime is symbolic. I want to fall asleep next to you. So they miss your comforting nature. They miss your touch. I need you to help me. I feel that you have helped this person. You know, the transformation can stir up a lot, and they can become overwhelmed if this is someone that hasn't really faced real emotion before, hasn't felt unconditional love before. It's an overwhelming experience. I've been fighting a battle I can't win. If you give out that energy and focus on yourself, think about them with love. That helps. Why do we have to be apart? We have to be patient. Yeah. Going through that dark night of the soul, going through the transformation, will always reunite. Exactly. It's a destined connection. You were always supposed to meet for your soul's evolution. Now for your astro, could be placements that you have or your person will have, just extra confirmation. Pisces again, or Neptune again, so my goodness. So strong connection in the energetic 5D, you know, that sending telepathic messages to one another when you think of each other fondly. 3. So third house. Okay, so you have Capricorn, so it could be Capricorn third house. You could have synastry, you could have planets together in Neptune, so it is a connection that is felt on that energetic psychic level. Third house, we did see materialism could be a point of contention in this connection, or someone who's obsessed with how things look. You know, it gives them that sense of identity and self-worth, but they want to bring it into balance, alchemize their shadows, and understand that self-worth doesn't come from the external, it comes from within, and not be so possessive and not feel that they need to control every little aspect of their life. To open up their heart space with you is important for the connection to work. Of course, Capricorn are very into their career, and they put 100% into everything that they do, you know, that earthy stability. But because this was imbalanced, problems arise. And especially if they were they may have been a little bit deluded in their position, also in their position of power. So the shadow side of it, controlling and possessiveness, moving with more authenticity, and to not use work in the external as a shield, and not be possessive and controlling of their time and energy and of their feelings. Number 3, also, you can apply that to birth date, anniversary, number, house. It's whatever you feel called to and what's significant to you. You know, if this person always has to feel in control, if they grew up with scarcity, there can be too much emphasis on work. I'm hearing workaholic. It's hard to fit connections in if they're operating from a place of fear. So AELJE, AELJE, G, D, and T. Okay, pile 3. I hope this was helpful. If it resonated, please do consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel grow. You know I love you. and I will see you in the next one. Bye.